Pulling shotsy, 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 pulling shotsy, 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 baby sharky, 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 pulling
Man.
shotsy, shotsy, shotsy. I have grandchildren. Baby sharky.
Yes. Yeah, pulling shots. I'm Sam, and this is Gary. Um, right now, we're going to talk about politics, Trump, tariffs, and coffee.
Yeah. Politics is always fun. Everybody it seems to be the hot topic, right?
But yeah, it's just a big conversation everywhere.
We've even written our senators and congressmen, Daniel, and I have a little bit of what I just
Yeah.
printed out what we sent to Senator Grassley and some of our cohorts in Congress.
Yeah, and one of them responded, right?
I
think one of them did.
So I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
Um,
You know, it's funny. April 5th. This is really, really funny. You know, when you everybody, not everybody, but most everybody, you know, that's in their 30s or 40s, you know, you do have a you're invested in the stock market at some level. Aren't you?
yeah, I don't, just general stuff. I don't
Okay.
watch it very closely. But
Well, you get in trouble when you watch it too closely. Oh, we are having a little meeting right there. There's somebody that just opened the door on me. I think it looked like my wife Colleen. But everybody has a, what do you call those accounts? Those, um,
I don't know, 401k, S&P, something.
yeah,
I don't really know.
yeah.
I just,
I can't.
I just, I don't know.
No, I don't either. Can you edit this part out or not? Roth. Everybody has maybe a Roth
Something.
account is probably what I'm thinking of, where you don't you know you don't it's not taxed until you get to a certain age and so forth. But everybody probably has a Roth IRA of some sort. Not everybody, but most people do. And so we do it. We're always when we buy coffee. Say we buy a certain amount of coffee. And well, on April 5th, let's cut the chase. April 5th, the tariffs were going to come out 10% unilaterally. Well, the coffee market has just been up in the air anyway. And so,
Starting in, what, February?
oh,
It's been, they say it doubled. Just, I mean, the really easy explanation, that's the green starting price. So it's not like a cup of coffee at a coffee shop is going to be double.
right.
It's what an importer is going to buy is doubled, and then they have like specialty coffee is increase of that. So we're not buying right now. It's $3.70. We're not buying green coffee for $3.70.
Yeah, we have.
We're buying it at like $4 to $5, depending on the grade and quality of the coffee.
Yeah, well, most of it. Well, now it's between 5 and 6. You're going
Yeah.
back a couple years. Now it's
Yeah.
between $5 and $6 roughly a pound. Then you have 20% shrinkage. So if you're buying coffee, say for $8 a pound, which some of our coffee we do buy at $8 a pound, all of a sudden you got 20% shrinkage when you roast. So you end up 20% of $8 is another $1.60. So you're not at $8 anymore, but you're at $9.60, and so that's your cost.
Yeah,
So,
and it's not like just because it doubles, that's the peak. I mean, it also comes down. So at the end of the day, like when it gets down to a cup of coffee at a coffee shop, it might be, I don't know, a few cents, maybe 10,
we
15
did-
cents.
Well, yeah. Well, that would be to the consumer. It
Yeah.
depends on what I think. What we figured out with the coffee market going up a couple dollars easily over the past year, the increased cost to the consumer is 6 to 7 cents for a 12 ounce. The increased cost, not to the consumer, but the increased cost to a retailer from us is about 6-7 cents per 12 ounce cup of coffee, or 6 to 7 cents for a double shot of espresso. And so that's, and then you as a retailer have to pass that along, whatever equation you use to pass that along.
Yeah. But yeah, we
I was finishing. Let me finish my thought on April 5th.
April 5th.
April 5th, the tariffs were coming out. So on April 4th, and I'll just throw this out there because I'll just throw out the exact number of what we did. we bought a part of what we bought by a month is I thought we'll just buy forward into that, which we a lot of times buy forward anyway. But
Yeah.
during odd
Odd times.
odd times, which we're in right now, tumultuous times, which
Yeah,
we are in
there's a
right
word.
now, it's hard to buy ahead because you know what contract are you buying into? Right now we're buying into the June contract, I believe. And so on April 5th, when the tariffs were going to come out, the tariffs doesn't hit. Like say if we're buying coffee out of Colombia, once it's loaded into the cargo vessel is when the tariffs hit. So everything into the cargo vessel before April 5th doesn't have the tariff on it. So I thought, no, this is going to be smart. So we thought we'd buy. I ended up buying $70,000 worth of coffee on April 4th, and so thinking the market's going to go up. Well, it was at 370 when we bought roughly.
And that was a
So
good price at the time.
that was
That's
a
a
good
great price.
Yeah, and so we bought $70,000 on April 4th. April 5th came, and you can go back and look at the market. I think April 5th or April 6th, it went down.
bottom.
The market went down 25 cents. So I thought, oh, there you go. I just lost some money, but
Yeah,
not-
10% in a few days
We're not-
after tariffs.
we're
We're
not
going
going
to
to
be.
pass that along, but we'll just absorb it as we move forward on a dumb buying mistake.
Yeah.
But then again, it went from 370 to say 345, and then again, like a week and a half, 2 weeks later, it dipped to 325.
Yeah, for like an hour, yeah. Which is just.
So, and I
Now it's right
noticed it
back.
like an hour after it dipped to 325. I got online and I noticed,
Yeah.
I should have bought then.
So, yeah, it's a whole thing.
Now it's all back up to, what's
Yeah.
it at today? Did you
Start
say?
back 370.
370 back to where it was April 4th.
Yeah. But there's a few articles. I mean, there's tons of articles, I guess. But the ones I've read is the hard thing with coffee is we don't grow coffee outside of Hawaii and Puerto Rico, who like don't even make 1% of the coffee in the world.
Yeah.
So pretty much all the coffee that comes in is on a tariff.
Yeah.
And there's nothing the coffee industry can do about it in America. So that's one thing that is just kind of frustrating, I think, for a lot of people.
No, you're
Just from
exactly
what I've
right,
read
Sam.
is like we can't. You just gotta. I mean, it's kind of easy for us because there's nothing we can do. We just gotta figure it out, and everyone's in the same boat. So like,
And the bad thing we've always been horrible at, and our banker came in and had a wake-up call for us in January and said, you got to get your ducks in a row on this, on this pricing, because we borrowed money in January and for a remodel that we did last fall, and you know our numbers aren't tracking with the price increases. So now we're up to where we should be on our pricing. And if there's anything, and we're always a step or two behind, and it's just got us up against a wall this time. And if there's one thing I would suggest, I'll make a recommendation at the end of this when we get close to the end.
okay, yeah. I guess I was just gonna say a few things I've seen. I mean, one thing coffee shops will have done and will continuously do, I think now more than ever, is have alternatives to coffee, like energy drinks, and that's the main thing. I mean,
Frappes,
there's
we do a lot of frappe business.
frappes, yeah. I just think like things that don't even have coffee,
Our smoothie lineup, which is
yeah, smoothies. I mean, but yeah, the energy drinks are just taking off right now, and those don't have any tariffs for the most part. Maybe aluminum, I don't know, but that's a little bit easier to manage in situations like these. So I think things like that are gonna just continually grow. Stuff that's a little more sustainable.
Yeah. You know, we have right now there's a proposed 25% price tariff increase to Colombia.
Who's the top number 3, 4 producer in the world?
Yeah, Colombia is number 3. The top, and here, Vietnam is the second largest producer in the world, and they got a 45% tariff against them. We don't buy Vietnamese coffee, but it does affect the market.
Yeah.
It's the second largest trading. It's the second largest producer in the world. Brazil goes Brazil, um,
Vietnam,
Vietnam, Colombia,
uh,
and then I think it goes.
Sumatra and Ethiopia are top
Yeah,
7.
It goes Indonesia, then Ethiopia. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then Mexico's in the top 10, but none of the Latin American countries, other than Central American countries other than Mexico,
Yeah.
would be in the top 10 producers.
Yeah. So it's complicated, and I think it's hard. You can't really be proactive in a certain thing. I mean, that's kind of what bit us in the butt with the buying. If we were just reacting completely to the market,
Yeah,
just waiting, just kind of patient, not trying to guess what's going to happen, we would have probably made a little better decision
yeah.
coming out of it.
I would have made a better decision.
Yeah.
Well, and since that day, I don't make any decisions on my own anymore. I have 3 other people involved in something like that, so I can't go crazy and pull a trigger and lose the company money.
Another thing I've seen is if you watch Folgers, they're kind of rebranding because they can't get cheap coffee anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like the bottom of the barrel coffee is fairly expensive
Yeah,
compared to what it once was.
yeah.
So like even Folgers of the coffee, they're like rebranding because their coffee's just as expensive as everyone else's, but they're seen as like the cheap coffee that you buy in a can at the grocery store. But so I think they've done a big rebrand, and I think other places are going to kind of follow suit. Like there isn't just I don't know, it'll be interesting. I think part of that dip in the market was people thinking there's going to be less of a demand for coffee.
And
Because
so far, we haven't seen that.
Yeah, we haven't seen that yet.
Even in the past 2 years, with the market going up and up,
Yeah.
the demand is still there.
So it is kind of like if there's someone that used to buy Folgers and it's maybe doubled in the last couple years,
Where do they go?
are they just going to keep getting Folgers, or do they just stop drinking coffee, or do they realize?
Well, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
We got to have some addiction. That's a safe addiction, is caffeine.
So what are they going to do? So it's kind of hard to say. Yeah, people are going to stop buying coffee because it's still like there's people that say coffee should be the price of wine.
Yeah, that's a stretch.
I know.
But then, you don't have 67% of the people have coffee every day.
Yeah.
So you got that, and I don't think 67% of the people, drink wine every day.
No.
I remember I used to drink wine.
Okay.
I wasn't good at it, so I had to stop. I wasn't good at it, was I?
Yeah.
And then there's that.
But I think this last thing I wrote down is it does depend on where you're at in the chain. I mean, when we talk to our importers, they're like, their hair's on fire because like that's their whole life is dependent on a couple cents in the market can just lose a contract, like a 10-year, whatever they're signing 10-year contracts or whatever. I don't know what they're doing, but their whole livelihood depends on that. Where us, it's a little bit smaller. We don't have investors. Yeah. Or at the end, like someone that just gets coffee at the gas station every day, they might just see a 10-cent increase and not think twice about it. So it does depend where you're at.
And I think too, like if you have a financial planner and you have a Roth IRA, you have a financial planner, and they say just chill. The market's always had like a 8, 9, 10% annual increase over the past 4 decades. So just be patient. It'll come back. Don't move your money around. Don't make drastic decisions. And that's the advice that we follow with our Roth IRAs. Now we do have extra money. If you have extra money, I should say, that you do investing, but small part of that you're juggling around, and half the time you're probably wrong at what you did, like me. So I think just moving forward, if I could give any advice moving forward, especially on the heels of J.P. Morgan, one of the largest financial management companies in the world. Earlier this month, they had like the probability of a recession was 30%. Then it went up to 40%. Now they're saying that the probability of a recession in 2025 is 60%. So, And that could all change in 2 weeks and be back at 30%. So it's,
Yeah, it doesn't.
just maybe not watching the news and stuff, and just kind of
Yeah.
managing the prices as it comes to us,
Yeah, if
and
you're a,
passing it along instead of waiting too long, which we normally do.
yeah.
And what advice would you give to the retailers that we sell coffee to?
I think we are fairly open about any price changes. We try to be upfront about it and tell people in advance, and answer questions. Another thing is, yeah, just maybe diversify yourself a little bit. Don't like rebrand and not sell coffee anymore. But I mean, if you find other things, to spread yourself out, that's
Yeah,
always not a
'cause
bad idea.
one thing, we've never sold sandwiches in our stores ever. Well, successfully, we've tried many ways, but now we've put turbo chefs in all of our stores, and we're going to start selling sandwiches, which is just another way for us to generate volume. I can't believe, why haven't we sold sandwiches up until now?
I don't know. But yeah, I mean, and then I mean, if you're a coffee shop owner that has a good relationship with your own customers, then
Don't
I think any price change can be kind of reflected off of a good relationship, and I don't think people,
the consumer on the street.
yeah, I mean, I don't think like Starbucks when they have a price increase, I don't know if some people might just up and leave because they don't want to foot the bill. But if you're a small shop owner, I think people might be a little more lenient on that.
And we have this love-hate relationship with Starbucks, because
Yeah.
without them, we wouldn't be here today doing what we do.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Did I ever tell you I met Howard Fisher?
Yeah.
He's a short guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met him in Florida at a convention he was speaking at, and I just wanted to meet him just to say, probably for this moment, that
Yeah.
I met him.
You could say it. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a nice little conversation with him.
Howard Schultz.
Oh,
That's it.
Oh, Howard Fisher. He used to own U.S. Coffee here in Des Moines. Yeah, Howard
Schultz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that German?
I don't
Should
know.
be. Sounds
Probably.
Schultz.
Okay.
From Hogan's Heroes. Schultz.
I don't.
Here I printed out, or you printed out for me. I asked for it. And, Daniel, he's our political analyst here at the company, and he said he's going to write all of our congressmen and senators, and just for and encourage you guys, too, is. And he wrote he wrote to all of them, but he's good afternoon, Senator Grassley, and I have 3 little highlights and 3 paragraphs here. And he said, the coffee industry has faced several unique challenges over the past few years with drought and frost in key coffee producing regions. The commodity has been particularly volatile. Just recently, coffee reached a 40-year high at $4 a pound, with no clear assurances it will go back down later this year. And he said the potential of tariffs on coffee from Mexico and other coffee-producing countries would add even more pressure to a strained industry. I know many other coffee shops and roasters in Iowa share the same concern. And then the last day, I request that you and your influence as a respectable senator and president of pro tempore, that's what it is, to sway the current administration away from placing tariffs on the world's number 2 traded commodity. So, we got that. We're doing our part on,
Yeah.
I don't know that you can bend the arm of a politician unless you have a lot of money in your back pocket that you're willing to share.
Yeah.
Did Daniel give him any money?
Not that I know of. I don't know
Okay,
if he
we
would
should
say
ask
that.
Daniel.
Though. I might see.
Well, I say at the end of this, day, what I would take away from this, stay calm as well as you can, like what we're trying to do at our retail stores. Just provide outstanding customer service. You have to do that. And when price increases come your way, be quicker than slower to pass them along to your customer, because it doesn't seem like there's an end in sight of anything coming down.
No, and there's price increases in general. Like, if you do it consistently, like smaller, I don't think people, I don't know if notice is the right word, or just, they just expect it,
Yeah.
Where if they're like, I don't know, when you get to the point where people start coming with exact change every day, that might mean you have to increase your price. Because
I like that.
they're going to get upset no matter what you do at that point.
Yeah. So,
So
the pennies are going away. I heard that.
I haven't heard that.
Yeah, that'd be great. No more pennies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Providing outstanding customer service at great prices, or fair prices, and with an outstanding delivery service. That means your customer service is providing outstanding delivery at the retail counter and greeting every customer and
Yeah.
knowing we need them. We need our retail. We need our consumer, our retail customers that live in our neighborhoods to enjoy their experience at our stores. So,
Yeah. Well, cool.
is that pretty much it for pulling shots?
Yep. Bye.
Pulling shots.